Okay. So, all right, guys, think of a fantasy word, and on three, we're going to say them all in order, starting with, kind of our Adam, Victor, Andrew order. Got it?
Okay.
That's not really in order,
Okay.
but okay.
It's the way we introduce ourselves.
I guess it kind of is. Yeah, I guess it is. You're right.
Yeah. And if we go backwards in like our rotation. Oh, anyway. All right.
Dragons.
Andrew, Victor, your fantasy word?
Elves.
Mine was thunder. So, okay.
I'll change mine to shadow.
Got it. So, the shadow elves of thunder. No, wait, that's not right.
What is this bit? What are you trying to do? What fresh hell have you wrought?
I was hoping we could put three fantasy words together and then have what would that story be?
That's like a whole episode.
That's just our episode. Small. Victor did the same thing with the superheroes.
I did.
And now you did it with the genre that you love to death.
Only it's worse because you didn't learn from my mistake.
Andrew, put three dinosaurs together.
Iguanodon, Meilong, and Minimi.
Perfect. Hey everyone, you're listening to GenreBot, the group writing machine. This is a show where we take three characters, put them in a genre, and create a story. I'm Adam, host of GenreBot, the first of his name, Pokemon Master, maker of colored teams, blaster of two guns.
And nerd, I am Vic, the master of the Lord of the Rings.
You could say the Lord of the Rings.
I know, I'm the Lord's master.
You're the Lord.
Oh,
you're the Lord of the Lord.
There's a whole other trilogy about me.
The Masters of the Lords of the Rings.
Yes.
Ashnas Terbatamuk, Ashnas Gimbatul, Ashnas Krakatuluk, Agur Simishikrimpatul.
That's a long way to say, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a few extra syllables in there. I'm not sure that phonetically adds up.
You guys aren't very good at Spanish.
Our genre of the week is high fantasy.
High fantasy.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Shing.
Now, before we go another step, I'm going to caution us, all of us, that we need to tread very carefully with this one because
one does not simply walk into high fantasy.
Well,
I did it.
There's a lot. Because it's not only is high fantasy already a complicated genre, but there's a lot of other subgenres that are a lot like it. It's different than fantasy. It's different than, we got to just make sure that we understand exactly what we're dealing with so that our listeners know exactly what we're dealing with.
Right. So, high fantasy, the genre itself, is basically, it's the way we understand it nowadays is by the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings, that kind of Middle-earth world that he created is where a lot of modern-day fantasy sprawls from. It's a medieval secondary world, not exactly Earth, but, has kind of like Earth-like build and physics to it. And it's all about kind of sword fighting, magic, wizards lighting bolts at each other. It's about epic quests, lots of kind of point-of-view characters. Basically, epic is another synonym for high in this case. So, different kinds of races, people of different cultural backgrounds, and coming together and fighting and politicking and that kind of stuff.
All the dwarves are the same.
Yeah, that's monoculture. We'll get into that in a bit. So there's a lot of since the days of Tolkien, and before him a little bit, but that's a little more sorcery, Robert E. Howard stuff.
The earth has
there's
changed. I smell it in
Yes.
the water. I feel it
Yeah.
in the Tolkien.
I'm the fantasy expert of the group. I'm going to riff off a few series that I've read that come to mind when I think high fantasy. I think A Song of Ice and Fire, that also known as Game of Thrones on TV. You've got The Wheel of Time, the epic kind of 14-book series.
Ice and Fire Song, Throne Games, Time Wheel. Continue.
Yeah. The Rift War Saga. You've got your Mistborn, Brandon Sanderson, newer writer. I've read Writer of Revelations, the Blade itself, Kingkiller Chronicles. It's all in this family of, all right, it follows hero characters in this kind of secondary medieval style world. All right, any questions? Any concerns?
So
What's
basically, it's like if you have a medieval, a world that's based on our medieval times, but with a bunch of added elements that like aren't true. A bunch of added elephants.
Sometimes they add elephants. You would know this if you saw Lord of the Rings, Victor.
I obviously saw Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Oh, Victor, what kind of... Are the elephants on the good guys' team or the bad guys' team? Take a guess.
Bad guys.
Oh, well, guess what?
he's-
Those are the Haradrim. They're the only black people in Lord of the Rings, Victor, so you are a racist. Turn in your badge.
Maybe the movie's racist because it portrayed them that way.
Oh, maybe.
See?
So
I saw the movie.
So yeah.
I guess I can't prove him wrong.
All right, so yeah, that's the genre we're kind of delving into here. I gave these guys a few rules to start off with, just to kind of narrow down this kind of all the different possibilities that we could have here. Secondary world. We'll define the magic system once we know all the characters and all their powers. And finally, to keep it to human characters because of a thing that's we in the community call Tolkien monocultures, which is kind of basically the Tolkien elves, the Tolkien dwarves are kind of very staples in this genre, and it's almost like if you say, oh, in a D&D campaign, you could say, oh, I want to be a dwarf. You know what that means, of course. And there's all this kind of deep-seated understanding of that character and their race relations and, or someone, I didn't want us to go into this with someone saying, oh, I have a standard Tolkien dwarf. I have a different kind of dwarf, which is not like Tolkien. He's a moon dwarf. He does things differently.
A moon dwarf.
Yeah. And the other person says, mine's a human, but he's like a dwarf. He works with stone and all that stuff. I just wanted to keep it simple. So we're going to focus on races and cultures in the human plane of reality.
I just want to say, if I were in a high fantasy universe, I would definitely be an elf, because I hate dwarves in these kinds of stories.
And who's the racist one?
My favorite dwarf is Tyrion Lannister, because he's an actual, human with dwarfism.
Exactly. So, on to character time.
Characters. When we each create our own original character, although this time we had certain rules. I just want to go over real quick, just for the sake of, just to follow up with what you were saying, Adam, and before we go into our characters.
Sure.
These were all the conditions / required reading that Adam gave us for this episode.
Oh.
He said this is not planet Earth, which is consistent with high fantasy. It's Earth-like, but just not from our history books.
Although
he did
Middle
not-
Earth is supposed to be Earth in the far past.
Whatever.
Yeah, but where are the elves?
Whatever. Okay.
Where are the elf
There's
fossils?
no stop. Shut up, both of you. He said there's no set magic system until we start writing. Meaning, of course, there's going to be some kind of magic, but he didn't want us to write it beforehand.
We'll build a magic
All
system.
our characters had to be human. And then he said he wanted us to familiarize ourselves with something called Sanderson's First Law, which basically translates to if magic is the more relevant that magic is to the plot, that means that it has to be easier for the audience to understand how that magic works. And then he mentioned hard and soft magic, which basically is just are there rules or not. If it's hard magic, there needs to be like a set, understandable system of rules and checks and balances, whereas soft magic is kind of more plot devicey. Yeah, it's just magic, don't question it. So that was what we were supposed to know going into this, so it's only fair that you guys know.
To put in simple terms, if you think of the Disney movie Tangled, that the in the climax, there's kind of the magic stops following the rules that it was following beforehand and does some different things. That's not good. That's bad. You don't want your magic system to do that. If you look at the Disney movie Aladdin, where the rules that the genie follows come into play, and kind of that's how the climax is resolved, that's good following the rules.
Good job.
Also, Lord of the Rings is very soft magic because it's just like, it's magic. He's an angel or something from space. Don't worry about it. And something like D&D is like, okay, you can only turn into a rabbit 3 times a day, and then you need to, like, pray for 2.5 hours to the moon god.
Yep. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with our characters. Andrew, you're going first.
All right. My character, and I'm going to send you guys the first sentence of my bio here, because otherwise it is astronomically impossible that you're going to guess all these words correctly.
Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah. Aramis Valance.
All right.
He is a dragon rider from the Pavonis Mountains. I don't know if you know this, but dragon riding is the coolest thing you can do in high fantasy.
That's very cool.
He rides a black dragon named Varanus. He was raised from birth to be one of the Solir, an elite, militarized sect of dragon-mounted knights. On the eve of his 14th birthday, when he was to come of age and be inducted as a Solir, he flew away to parts unknown. He and Varanus began to travel the world fulfilling quests for people, like smuggling artifacts or slaying monsters. I'm going to put all of this just in the chat.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, they are now both 34 years old, so 20 years after running away, and have grown bitter and cynical about things like magic and prophecy.
Huh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to rattle off that whole bio like I did in Days of Old, like when we were first genre botting about.
That's pretty good. No, I got the gist of it.
Yeah. My biggest problem with the Lord of the Rings movies and a lot of other high fantasy is that there's no Han Solo character to go like, this is all stupid.
Yeah, no.
Sandor Clegane is the only one from Game of Thrones. I haven't read the books, so I'll say Game of Thrones. That's a noteworthy exception. I like him.
Yeah, no, and there's, once you get deeper in the genre, there's definitely examples of that, but that's pretty good. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of genre savvy in a way.
Yeah. But you go further deep than I do in terms of high fantasy.
Yes, I'm the deepest.
First things
All right.
first.
Adam is in his glory in this episode. If that isn't already painfully obvious.
Yeah. All right, Victor, you're next.
All right. I took a safe route, and I did my best to come up with a name that I thought was usable yet still very fantasy sounding, and a background that could be easily pretty much any story, but would fit into any high fantasy story because we had conditions and stuff. So, I'm gonna text you guys the name because it's a little bit weirdly spelled. This
Weird.
kid goes by the name of Stick, but his full name is actually Palisu Karadezhnik. And he is a very young boy. At first glance, he looks to be around 12 or 13. He speaks with a very kind of like Russian or Slavic sounding accent, and I say that because this isn't Earth, and you know how this goes, how they have made up accents, like somehow they're all British or something, like even though those countries don't exist. But I picture him having like sort of a very strong Slavic sounding accent. He lives in a very slum-like community that's kind of carved out of like the rock side of a mountain, very secluded, very few natural resources. Very poor community, and he spends most of his time either helping his family with trying to cultivate whatever land is available and try and market it or feed themselves, or he's actually a very talented free runner, and he runs through the city, and he's kind of it's funny you mentioned Aladdin. He kind of is sort of like he has to steal food in order to kind of support himself and his family. He's a very tenacious kid. He moves very quickly and has very, very good instincts. He has these striking bright green eyes, and he carries around a pet lizard named Jasper that he keeps in his pocket or on his shoulder.
Oh,
and
how big of a lizard?
I picture it being like, you could hold him in the palm of your hand, but like he's bigger than your hand. than his hand. He's a kid, so like, you know.
Give me like a real world animal that like is roughly the same size as this kind of lizard.
I tried to not pick an actual lizard because I didn't know if we could like make up lizards.
Like, let's say it's guinea pig sized.
That's fair. Like I guess like iguana
Yeah, that sounds
size.
pretty good.
Because like I said, like I
well,
picture
that's pretty big.
you could pick him up in your hand, but like he would be hanging out of the sides of your. You know what I mean? Like
Iguanas are big, man.
maybe I'm
Not that kind of iguana.
maybe I'm thinking like bearded dragon, like the little guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's it. That sounds pretty
Jasper.
cool. Cool.
Yes.
And that's a neat name.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there you go.
All right. Stickin' Jasper. Okay.
Looks like you're up, Mr. King of High Fantasy, sir.
All right. So I will. I'll probably have to send you guys a list of these names and stuff.
Oh, geez.
Your fantasy grace.
So my character's name is Noctalik. That's yeah. I'll post that. Noctalik. You see, Nock is like a kind of a Chinese. It's like the name said like a Chinese name, as in the surname comes first, like Hua Mulan, if you're familiar with that.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's got about the mid-20s, early 20s. Yeah, I said early 20s. Gray eyes, long, blonde, like bone white hair. Dresses in a colorless robe. She is a member. She is a. Well, I guess race is the word. She's a member of the race known as the Taraknik, which is in their language means born of eggs. Even though she's human, quite human, her culture that she comes from is very obsessed with spiders. They speak this chittering language with lots of kind of T, K, and N sounds to it. So that's prevalent in a lot of these names.
Me, spider lady.
So wait. When you say race,
I mean group of people that have been there for a long period of time.
Like Mexicans.
so it's like a clan.
my favorite race.
Yeah,
Okay.
like Brazilians.
So she is human.
Yes, totally human.
Okay.
Just like Brazilians.
I thought you were pulling that
Race
whole-
race is not the word to use in this genre.
Yeah. Okay. What do we got here? Okay, so that culture is obsessed with spiders. They've got like a chittering language. That's where you left off.
Yep. Their culture is a matriarchal society. The women that are in charge of it are known as the White Widows.
Just like spiders.
Yes, similar. And basically, they have this whole kind of theology, I guess is the word. They've got a theology that associated with this figure known as... their god is called Mataniku, the mother of many eggs. And the way the story goes is that Mataniku, kind of is a mother of numerous different sized eggs. One became the earth, one became the moon, one became the sun, and another one hatched out the humans of the earth, and then another one's spiders. And basically their whole culture is around waiting for the earth to finally hatch. And in the meantime, they can kind of obey their god, do her bidding by weaving webs. They know what I defined as the secret of silk, which is a magic that creates spider silk. And so, yeah, it's not very fast like Spider-Man web slingers. It's more of a slow, arduous process. But this is very kind of it's the type
So
of.
would you say
material
that they're the sect of the spider spinnerets?
No, I wouldn't say that. But yeah, the silk is very, very valuable. So it's they speak the trader's tongue, do well with kind of exchange it in terms for like steel and various valuables in their home. What's the name of their home? That's around here somewhere. But anyway, okay, so that's the background. And Noctalik, the main girl, she was one of the acolytes for the White Widows. You see, the way it works is that there's basically two different layers of the society. There's the White Widows who have white hair, and the kind of the underlings, which black hair. And when you kind of have the ingrown ability of silk magic, your hair is white. Got it? Following?
So what? Well, if that's the case, then what's up with the underlings with the black hair? Are they Black Widows?
No, nothing like that. It's just that they were not born of the White Widows.
Is that the only difference, really? Or like, is there?
Yeah, pretty much. They're same race. Just if you have White Widow blood in you, you have white hair, and you know the secret of silk.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, and basically, Noctalik was one of the acolytes here. She had a lover who was known as I just called him Huntsman. Huntsman, who was a notable huntsman to the tribe. And as she learned as an acolyte, and when she finally came of age, is that in order to, she basically became pregnant, and in order for her to pass on her silk powers to her child, she had to, as the White Widows commanded her to do, drink the lifeblood of her lover, which did not sit well with her. She was like, no siree, I do not want that. I do not want to kill this man I love. So they basically, and so she's like, they're like, you have to do this. There's no getting out. It's either you drink his lifeblood or your life. And she manages to escape and is now on the run from her society, from the Taraknik, trying with her, with her child in a room.
What I miss? What year is it?
I know this is a weird question, but like, how pregnant is she? Like, how far along?
She's so pregnant.
It could this depends on how we want to tell the story. She could already have had the child. She could be a few months in. Yep,
okay,
and she's being pursued by a hunting party led by the huntsman. Ironically.
What? That's crazy.
So what? Wait, that makes no sense because what's his goal? Like, I'm gonna catch you and bring you back so that you can kill me.
Because that's such ingrained into their society that the fact that the males have to give up their lives so that the White Widows will have their power and have this magic, have their trade, have kind of their whole income.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the huntsman is pursuing her with his team of him and 3 other hunters, which I have descriptions for all of them, but I've been talking for long enough.
That's gratuitous. We don't need that.
I had a week and a half, you guys.
I have descriptions of the rest of them. I know their favorite kind of sandwich. I know their grandmother's dentist's maiden names.
A huntsman's got a spider silk bow, which has a bowstring made of their magic spider silk that can fire super far, super accurate, scary well.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
All right,
you're done. No more. All right, that's cool. So, all right, we have, we have 3 characters that definitely, I can definitely picture them all in the same world. And the good news is none of them seem to really be redundant.
But the bad news is none of them are redundant enough.
Yeah. So now our next task, I think, is going to be what's the conflict? Because isn't high fantasy kind of like cut and dry? Like, no, there's definitely a big thing that needs to be dealt with.
Yes and no. It's kind of like that's a classic trope is the kind of the one dark lord that the heroes gather up and face, but kind of more modern fantasy like the works of Joe Abercrombie and George R. R. Martin kind of focus on. They have a more of a gray world that they paint, but there's usually some large conflict going on in the background. That's a set. That's a staple, I should say.
Okay.
Oh, not always, but yeah. Okay. So story time. Let's take these characters and make a story.
Story time.
All right. So let's see here. Stick is our protagonist. I think there's no.
Really?
No. Oh yeah. No messing around with that. What do you think,
He's
Andrew?
the one that's the most a child. So yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I pictured him just kind of being interesting. Well, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. I guess he could be a.
He's a total farm boy.
Yeah, he's Luke Skywalker.
He's even a farm boy.
Very young though. Like he is not hero age.
How old is he?
Like even by young adult
12 or 13.
even by like young adult literature standards, he's like not hero age yet.
I think he's about to come of age.
How old is he in years?
I kind of kept that ambiguous on purpose because I had no idea what kind of world you guys were going to throw at me.
Problem solved.
He appears to be around 12 or 13. Like
Let's bump that up.
right at the advent of puberty. Like
I would say that we could make like a pretty good like preteen type high fantasy thing, but Adam's character is too dark.
I
think.
I actually really want to keep him that age. I
Okay.
like him
That's
being
fine.
a very young kid.
That
But
can work.
kind of like street hardened, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Okay. So I'm thinking of a scenario where Ermos, is that how your guys pronounce it, Andrew?
Aramis.
Aramis. Got it. So Aramis, I can imagine him in town with a dragon for some reason, and that area doesn't get a lot of dragons. So that's a kind of a big thing for the area, the town.
whoa.
I didn't these things are real?
Oh man, I never said if Varanus could talk. That's important.
Oh yeah. That's a good point.
I'm gonna go with Chewbacca rules.
Chewbacca rules.
Yeah, Aramis can understand him. No one else seems to.
Nice.
But he's intelligent.
Great. Yeah, okay. So this little kind of how would you describe the area, Victor? That stick is growing up in?
Okay, picture like if there's like a cliffside path and eventually you come across like a big just like a whole cliffside village where it's all like okay, like there's some fauna, like there's some like, you know, agriculture, but really I mean it's a cliff, like you have to travel to get to resources. So
That's pretty cool.
It's just an inconvenient place to live, but it's where this community happened to form, you know, it's been there for a long time.
Hard people living in a hard land.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, and like a little town area.
I didn't name it either. It does, because I don't really see it being a place that's going to matter to the plot.
Nope.
Yeah.
They could be like, we just call it the town. We don't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
All right. So Ermo, I can totally see him visiting this town as a stop on a quest of his. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's paint a background to this, because we need some kind of like you said it earlier, we need a type of conflict. So do we want there to be a war going on? Perhaps.
See, the war thing I feel like war is a powerful thing, but it's easy for war to lose that power when it's something that you have no personal stake in. You know, like
Right.
So I feel like if it's war, then I feel like war is better off in like not the first movie of a series. Like it would have to be later on when it's like we know this world, we're invested in it, and when they go to war, now it means something to us.
Well, I'm not saying they go to war. There could be a war going on in the background.
Maybe, but like I said though, I feel like at the onset of the story, it needs to be something more personal.
Okay, got it.
So like if he comes to this
Oh.
town, like what's his deal? Like why is he in this town? Is he like running from something, or does he need something, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
I get the feeling that this town that he lives in is kind of in the foothills of the Pavanis Mountains, like a bit lower altitude, kind of like basically sea level, or like it's cliffside. So that might be part of the same kind of generic human kingdom. Like it's overseen by the same governing body, whatever that is, like a king probably. And
Probably.
the place that Noctalik is from, the Taraknik. Oh, like arachnid.
Yeah. Haha.
Okay. Yeah, they're probably like a different kingdom that's ruled by like some sort of theocracy, like
I imagine them in type of a valley region, and
I
but,
pictured
okay.
I pictured like a spooky Tim Burton land with like dead trees and gray skies.
In a valley.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, okay, that could work. Andrew, talk about this Solaire, those guys, the sect of dragon riders. You said.
Yeah, they're basically, D&D time paladins, like very lawful good types, and so
Okay.
like any 14-year-old is probably going to want to rebel from them.
Yeah, I gotcha. Are they good or bad?
I feel like they're good, but like obnoxious good.
That's what I'm thinking. Something like that. Something where you can these characters that should be in all circumstances good, righteous, clean knights, but they're not. They're kind of scumbag knights that wear the armor to show off and bully people around.
Like late era samurai.
Yeah, like late era samurai. I suppose. Okay, yeah, awesome. And Aramis, he off from them. He's not a part of them anymore.
Not a part of them. Got a dragon, left his family and everyone behind.
Are you sure they'd be cool with that?
I don't think they are. Well, maybe they're like, that is his path to take.
Well, I'd imagine. Yes, I guess. Sure, that's an analogy. But yeah, I'd imagine there's got to be at least a few of these kind of stuck-up knights that aren't that cool with him taking the dragon, and that would be on his case about it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of, he was raised from birth, so I assume that, like, the child and the dragon are the same age. It's not like stealing a car, it's like stealing,
a dog from a shelter.
It's like stealing a
I guess it's not like that.
Candy
dragon
from...
that you were raised with from birth, is what it's like.
All right, we're hitting it out of the park today. Yeah, no, that's okay. I get that. So it's basically he kind of sees this dragon as his right, so it's okay for him to take it in his eyes, but in someone else's eyes, they might see it more as property, and even him as property to these dragon warriors.
Yeah, I could see this kind of being like a Doctor Who scenario-ish thing almost, where like the Doctor takes the TARDIS and the Time Lords are like, we hate you for taking that TARDIS, but like whatever. You're traveling around
Victor,
time.
I want to take just a second to point out to our listeners, you've heard us mention many times before about the notion of world building and how important that is to a story, but in high fantasy, world building is kind of huge. Like you need to do it because
it's everything.
Yeah, like
really.
if you don't really focus on world building, then nothing makes sense to anybody. So, unfortunately, as a result of that, we're going to have to spend a good portion of our episode world building, so that you understand what's going on in this world.
All right, do you guys want to do top down or bottom up?
What do you mean?
Like, top down is like, let's start by drawing the continents and looking up the Latin words for Earth.
Bottom up.
Bottom up is like, okay, let's start with the protagonist. What's his house like? What's the town around them like? What's the kingdom that town is in like? What are the neighboring kingdoms?
Zoom out a little bit.
I think it's better to just, I mean, we have our characters, and I'm cool with that. We have enough to start telling a story. And I think what we can do is just come up with the world building as we go.
Yeah, I'm just trying to establish a conflict that we can build off of. Like, as in, if Eremos is in this little town on the cliff where Stick is, and perhaps he's got some riches with him from his quest, and Stick, sees him as this kind of valuable adventurer who's come through the area. And he's like, I want some of that treasure so I can feed myself. And meanwhile, another one of these Solier, these Dragon Mountain Knights, comes to the village and is like, hey, Eremos, you suck. I'm going to kill you. Or something to that extent.
I have an idea.
Something fancy.
What if Aramis is like trying to find something, or maybe he stole something and now he's on the run, or something like that, some kind of object, and let's say that while he's kind of like just taking a little break in this town, in the cliffside, Stick steals it and he doesn't realize
Yeah.
it. So
That's pretty
that
cool.
kind of
What kind of
it
artifact?
drags them both into the same conflict without them really either of them really knowing it.
Good question, Andrew. Do we want it? All right. So, what type of person do we want Stick to become? That basically tells us what this artifact is related to, right?
Mhm.
Like, if you wanted to stay a rogue forever, you could say, "Oh, it's this magic dagger, right? It's this cursed object of this blade."
Hmm.
Or it could be if you want him to go on to cast magic and stuff like that, you could say, "Oh, it's this staff of some ancient warlock." Well,
I don't like staffs.
Something that can fit in your pocket.
staffs. Oh,
Tiny
pockets.
tiny staff. Wands.
Okay.
I was
not
thinking
wands.
some kind of something that's related to magic, so like some kind of orb or some kind of maybe like some kind of little miniature statue or something, or maybe like a
Gauntlet
well
of some kind.
no, maybe
An amulet. No, everything's
Bracelet?
amulets.
how about a necklace?
Neck pendant.
Something that he wears.
Yeah, something that's got to wear.
a crown?
No.
Oh, crown's a little too on the. Well,
a gun?
keep it going. But
How about
pendant necklace? That's okay.
How about he like I said, like he swipes something off of Aramis and gets back to his home and he's looking at it, he's like, okay, what can I sell this for? And ends up having some kind of strange bond with it.
I'm totally thinking that's gonna happen.
Something like
A sheath, not a sword, but like a case.
oh wait, I have an idea.
Yeah.
What if Jasper is some kind of manifestation of whatever he stole?
Oh, yeah. That's he doesn't have him earlier, but then it takes this shape.
Yeah.
Once he has it.
And
Yeah, that's
Aramis
pretty cool.
doesn't know that it can do that, so he doesn't realize that Jasper is the thing that was stolen from him.
That's
Hmm.
pretty cool.
I
I like
could
that.
work.
All right, but we need to get that thing down. Okay.
Like maybe like a bracelet or some piece of jewelry that looks like a lizard and it turns into kind of a lizard familiar.
Lizard bracelet's not bad. Bracer, like kind of a wrist strap type
Yeah.
thing.
What am I thinking of where some lady has like a snake bracelet that turns into an actual snake?
What if it was?
I do
What
not
if it was
know.
just like a coin that had like just an insignia of a lizard on it, and as soon as he like touched it, it just transformed into one.
I'm just saying something I could wear and get easily.
Well, no, because it just I don't picture Jasper really changing out of lizard form for like most of the movie.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Coin that turns into lizard. I like that works. Andrew.
Coins.
I don't know. Is it possible to like? I like the idea of wearing it, like a wearable object.
That's true. Well, if that's the case, then I think then it's not Jasper then.
Yeah, Jasper could emerge from it.
Or it's like it could just be stylized to look like a lizard, and then like he could just manifest out of it.
Yeah. Or like link to it like a genie is to link to a lamp. That kind of ethereal chain that's connected to the two.
Did we just make a Pokeball?
Well, if we call it a ball, then yes. But we got more other details to get to, so let's just pick something and roll on.
All right, let's go with coin.
Coin?
I mean, we could.
Coin on a chain.
Coin on a chain. Okay.
Victor, you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Coin on a chain?
Is that cool?
Yeah, I mean that's
Coin on a
like
chain?
well, if it's a coin on a chain, isn't that more of like a pendant?
Pendant.
Pendant on a chain.
I mean that works.
All right. So he steals his pendant from Eremos. Eremos?
Aramis.
Aramis.
It means flying mouse.
Aramis.
Winged
All right,
mouse. It's
Steals his pen from Aramis.
It's the genus of a giant black flying squirrel from Indochina.
It bonds with him, and Jasper, this lizard, is released from it. And eventually Aramis is totally going to find him, and he's going to be like, dude, not cool. You stole that from me, and now it's connected to you, and now I can't turn it in for money.
So that'll be like, so now they're stuck together because now he's gonna have to keep the kid with him.
Yep. Yeah.
Ah.
That's pretty good to get them off the street. But there has to be something that gets them fast out of this cliffside town.
What if,
Like some kind of threat of some kind.
do we want to tie in the hunter party?
Not yet. Oh, well, possibly.
Like maybe they
Yeah.
just like burst through the town and
Can we like up the ante on how vicious and violent that hunting party is,
Yes.
and say that they
you
just
want-
like scorch the earth looking for, so like they can come through and start like wrecking the town.
Right.
I mean, like the kids got family.
This town is
We could even
this town is along their path.
we could even like go dark and say like maybe they storm through and like this kid's family gets taken out or something.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
Joe Chill.
Yeah, that's totally possible. I was thinking a dragon attack would be better for that. But no, the hunting just coming through and they're looking everywhere for Noctalik. So they're,
But if the
tearing this
hunting
place
party
up.
finds out about the bracelet, that would lead them home.
I get it.
Yeah, but it's not so much they're well, there has to be another angle to this too. I'm saying there's got to be someone else out for this bracelet. Because hunting party works they have their own goal. It's not connected to this bracelet. Oh, I'm sorry, pendant.
Pendant.
I'm just thinking a different one of these Dragon Mountain Knights comes in, says, Hey, Aramis, I know you got that pendant, come out. And Aramis is like, not here.
No,
I don't care about these people. You could set us all on fire. And he does that. Because that's what this Dragon Mountain Knight, because he could care less about Aramis and his kind of, dragon that he perceives he stole.
Because he's evil.
Okay. Yes. I mean, if you want to, if you want to get more complicated,
Because
let's
he's
go
a
more complicated.
jerk. But still
All right,
technically lawful good.
The pendant belonged to his mother, who's no longer with him.
Yeah, she
How's
got
that?
sick. She got
Is
she
that
got
better?
sick of traveling with him, so she was like, "I'm out."
Yeah, no, she's not dead. She's just not hanging out with him anymore. She didn't even have her own dragon. She was just on the back of his, like with him, like giving like backseat driving kind of stuff, like
Turn left at that cloud. We passed a cloud like that 16 miles ago.
I need to take a walk. Need to stretch my legs. He's like, oh my god, we just broke the stratosphere.
Why don't you just stop and ask for directions? We're in the sky.
That looks like a nice bird.
Why doesn't Jeremus ever pick you up?
All right, we've
Yeah, okay,
We've
there
got
you go. We've got he's a guy with mother issues. Wonderful.
great.
So he's in pursuit of this pendant because of his mother. And so he probably sets fire to the place, forcing these guys out, and Aramis has to bring Stick along with them. Got it. So, as they travel along their journey, I think the next step is for them to encounter Noctalik.
Mm-hmm.
That sound good to you guys?
Yeah, kind of a Wizard of Oz type thing going
Sure.
on.
Well, okay. Well, let's go. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. I think we should
Gotcha.
start. If you want Stick to be our protagonist, then we start by introducing him, showing how he lives his daily life. Okay, and then we'll have Aramis show up. We'll have the theft. We'll have the thing where they encounter each other. He realizes, oh crap, I have to take you with me now because you're apparently bonded with this thing. And you're saying that they get kind of set out on their journey together by having the hunting party sweep in.
Not hunting party.
Oh, not
I'm
the hunting
saying
party?
this a dragon rider that kind of wants the pendant
Okay.
from Aramis.
Okay, so we're just starting with Aramis's conflict. We're not even bringing in
Yep.
the hunters yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
We could probably have our cold open. Our beginning scene could be this White Widow ceremony type thing. So to establish where Noctalik, it could establish her situation be in the beginning. Then we meet Stick. We meet Aramis. They kind of bond and they bond. Jasper appears. They go off on their mission once someone is in pursuit of Aramis. Got it?
Got it.
Good.
Okay. So now this is awesome because blank fantasy slates Victor, give me a cool word. But hang on. Think of a cool word. Andrew, give me a kind of a biome, a place, a location. Like, could be a crag or a volcano or some neat place like that.
Savannah. No. Yeah, Savannah.
Savannah? Okay. Victor, what's your word?
Blaze.
The blazing savannah is where their next stop.
That's appropriate.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a weird coincidence.
Guys, it's not that weird. Don't worry about it. This happens all the time.
Well, I was gonna say
so-
laser, but then I thought there's no way that word will ever work in high fantasy.
Thank you very much.
You just said cool
All right,
word.
yeah, no, blaze is a wonderful, cool word.
All right, so
We got lucky, guys. We got lucky.
we did.
All right, so they cross through this kind of blazing savannah area nearby. Definitely some bonding between the two of them. Would Stick be interested in learning anything from Aramis?
Sword fighting?
I feel like Stick would be. Actually, I kind of like the idea of him being kind of like Spider-Man in Civil War, where he just can't shut up. He's like, "Wow, I've never seen a dragon before. They're pretty cool. I think I've seen some flying by before, but I've never seen one up close like this. How does it work? Do you guys have like a psychic bond, or like do you like tell them to steer? Are there? I don't see any reins. It's not like a horse.
Now is it? Now, did they call this place the Blazing Savannah and it caught on fire, or was it just always this way?
Yeah, like I picture him being like very, but like not in just like an annoying kid way per se, but also like he's clever, like, he's quick-witted, so he's kind of just absorbing everything around him. So to answer your question, yes, I feel like everywhere he goes, he's always going to be like, "What's that? I want to learn about that." And
Aramis, Andrew, how do we make him more Han Solo than Obi-Wan right now? Well, what would a Han Solo reaction to this stuff be? Besides shoot him. You can't shoot him.
Okay. Will you shut up? I'm trying to drive a dragon. I'm trying to activate the hyper dragon.
It's really hard to look cool driving a dragon when some kid is screaming at me.
Yeah, that could be the thing that Aramis is always trying to look like super, like, kind of cool guy, but but Stick is kind of like, throwing off his vibe.
Nice.
Like maybe in a like a kind of a town they have to go to a tavern in a town in the Blazing Savannah, and there's just like and Aramis is trying to hit it with the ladies, but Stick is kind of he's in the way.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah, that works.
Wait, a tavern in the Blazing Savannah?
As in in the same way that a town appeared on the cliffside, a town was formed in this Blazing Savannah.
Welcome to the kingdom of inconvenient places to live. Next to Volcano Island.
Welcome to a little town known as Brimstone. We have the Brimstone Falls, which is really a lava plume. Help save us. But that's a good little scene, something like that.
There might be black people in this place. Guys, we're better than any other high fantasy work that's ever been made.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that could be one of their stops along the way. Should in this tavern perhaps is a good. Well, I'm saying we got to bring in Noctalik at some point. Could be in this tavern. Could be another step of their journey, but that could be very, another person sitting at the bar.
Why would a pregnant woman go to a tavern?
Yeah, just drinking, just water, please. I just want water. And he's like, there's two options, ma'am, ale and beer. Do you want the black or the other, the darker?
Well, I mean, ale and never mind.
Do you want it? Do you want thick or do you want it foamy? Those are the two taps. That's all I got, ma'am. I'm just a humble barkeep.
I'm living my own life.
I wanted to be an adventurer too, but now I got to sit here and serve adventurers. That's the same, right?
All right, we should be careful not to just start playing D&D.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this barkeep.
That's what
he seems like a pretty cool guy.
Aramis is going to approach the barkeep and
this is what I'm saying.
Roll a persuasion check. Yeah.
Oh, You can. I'm percepting how your persuasion check. How'd you do? I
Uh,
got. All right, no, but seriously. Okay, yeah, maybe they meet Noctilique in this tavern.
I rolled a 5. It's pretty bad.
They have a few words with her, and maybe that night the huntsmen are in town. They may perhaps hear commotion, and they're like, "Oh no, that dragon jerk is on his way."
Well, let me.
Oh,
Well, hold on a second. Let me. If we. First of all, I'm looking at our time. We actually spent a lot of time world building. So why don't we why don't we try to expedite this by saying, okay, we have a viable Act 1. Act 1's probably going to have them meeting, learning a little bit about each of their backstories, setting them off on their journey. Act 2 will be finding Nock. But that's going to be a thing because, like you said, okay, so we'll go to this location, run into her. There's going to have to be another conflict of some sort to keep things interesting and exciting. So
huntsmen show
So we'll
up.
say the huntsmen show up. They end up teaming up just out of necessity to defend themselves, and then they're on the run. And then they can share their stories, or whatever. But now here it is. Here's the point where they need a reason to all keep traveling together, and then that'll be what kind of brings us into the end of Act 2.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
So
yeah, we need some, and this is high fantasy, so it has to be a big reason for them to keep doing this together.
Yeah.
What if one of the 4 of them, either Varanus or Aramis or Stick or Noctilique, gets hurt, like by an arrow or something in the huntsman battle, and like they have to spend a while kind of like riding on Varanus's back, traveling to some place.
it's a little too flimsy. Because
Okay.
I think at this point there should be something big about the amulet or whatever.
I was gonna say, someone gets injured and the amulet has the ability to heal that person.
Jasper doesn't.
No one. Yeah, Jasper has the ability to heal this person, and no one knew this. Aramis is like so thrown off because he's like, if this has the power to heal someone, then that's just not one price. That could be that's priceless.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean that could work.
Let
So like, well, okay. Well, then we'll say, how about we say, during that conflict, perhaps maybe Nock gets injured because maybe she's tired. She's been running from them for a long time. And
they come to her aid. I would say that Aramis wouldn't want to go to her aid. He's like, let's get out of here. Stick would be the person that pushed him into helping save her.
yeah, well,
Right.
yeah, he would be the one that's like, yeah, he would be really annoying. Come on, no, we gotta do something. You know, like, oh, fine, you know, like, so they grab her, they leave, and
he would throw a rock at one of the huntsmen and get their attention. And he's like, he did it. Point to Aramis.
yes.
What if
Yeah.
what if like they decide that the only place where Nock will be safe from these huntsmen is in the Pavonis Mountains, like with the Solier watching over everything, and like
Yeah, that's true. That's a possible idea.
yeah, and then Aramis will have to be like, sorry, and he won't be into it,
Oh,
but Stick will
but
again
that
go
is
like, why don't we just take care of that? There will be a bunch of dragon people. They can be these
And-
huntsmen.
Hang on, I like that format there of them having to go to these mountains that Aramis definitely doesn't want to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
but
story could be the one that we keep perhaps the most ambiguous.
Listen, sweetheart, I'm not in
and
this
that
for your
could-
revolution.
That could be our Act 3, where there's this big thing that Aramis is wrapped up in, and we don't really realize it till the end. Because along the way, it's all about this kid, and Nock has a big thing going on. In fact, I almost kind of see like Nock's thing not really being resolved at the end of this.
Probably
Yeah,
not. No, but staving off the huntsmen at the end of the movie, but just staving them off, not.
Right, like
Yeah.
like it's still a thing.
Oh yeah, they're still in pursuit, but and they encounter them once now, and they'll probably encounter them at the end. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if Act 3 we finished with like a battle between the huntsmen and like two of the dragon guys. Like, let's say Aramis appeals to this rival that he has, the Boba Fett guy. He appeals to the sense of honor, like, this woman's pregnant, we're taking her back to the Solir, you have to help defend us.
Yeah, or perhaps, actually, just to tie a few things together, what if her injury could, in fact, she could lose her child because of it, and the only place that could heal her is at these mountains? Following that logic, Aramis told Stick about this. Stick tells Noctalik about it. Noctalik says to Aramis, you gotta take me there. What are you going to say, Victor? You had something?
I was going to say there could be a really cool moment in Act 3 where the dragons show up and just start owning the huntsmen.
Yeah.
And like I said, it doesn't
cool.
end the conflict, but they're definitely like, fine, we'll stop chasing you for now. But
the huntsmen are bug types, and dragons breathe fire, and they're flying, so they're doubly good against bug.
But dragons are dragon type, and those are...
Yeah, but they have access to fire and flying attacks, they just don't have step.
Okay. Fair enough. Ice Fang, loser. Spiders have bites.
Ice
by
Fang,
the way,
yeah, come back when you don't have 65 base power.
By the way, I picture the huntsman riding giant spiders.
Ooh.
oh man,
Could it be like
instead of horses.
What if instead of spiders, it's like harvestmen, like the daddy longleggers?
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I also imagine them having like hounds. They had like kind of a smaller, like faster spiders that they use with hunting.
Mm.
Man, that is going to be
so
they're going to be creepy. Can they also have like some kind of really odd, like grotesque, like armor that they wear that kind of makes them look like they have spider-like hairy exoskeletons? So they're just rough to look at. They've got all, like, I picture them being a very creepy society. I mean, spiders are creepy, okay? Like Spider-Man's awesome, but let's be fair. Spider-Man looks nothing like anything that has to do with spiders.
Venom's creepy, and that follows the same logic, right?
So spiders are very, very weird and creepy, and the thing of
jumping spiders are cute.
But I'm just saying, so I imagine if there's a whole society that just worships them, they're going to be a very off-putting bunch.
Yeah.
So
and dangerous too. Remember that's spider silk bow I mentioned. Right. That's the type of thing. Like
you gave us gave us the perfect bad guys. Like they are bad. So that's a thing. But I feel like the payoff in Act 3 is going to be okay, big fight. But then there's got to be some kind of resolution with Jasper.
Yeah, right. Aramis makes up with kind of these dragon people in a way temporarily because they know the huntsmen are coming. These bad spider guys are coming, and Jasper. Yeah, let's. We should probably have done this first instead of last. But all right, this magic system of the amulet. What's going on with it? Let's. Where does this fall in the world in like our kind of grand scheme meta talking?
Well,
why is this such an important thing?
I like the idea of it being almost kind of like almost like Genie rules, where it's like, okay, so you have the amulet, and this amulet just happens to have this particular spirit inside it that you can summon, and the two of you become bonded. And then it has certain abilities that are kind of like at your will. So Jasper becomes like a companion of yours, and Jasper can heal you and can do this and do that. But it could have all kinds of unforeseen power that they just don't know about. And that could even be the end is maybe Aramis just wanted to sell it, but then the kid at the end does something really heroic. Out of nowhere, Jasper grows into some enormous beast.
Dragon.
I don't want to say dragon. I was thinking almost maybe just
bigger than any of the dragons that we've
well,
seen.
No,
so that it's important.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I did not bring Sanderson's first law of magic into this just so we could break it.
We're not breaking it.
Oh yeah, we're totally Deus Ex Machinaing by saying this magic that we were supposed to understand does something crazy to solve our problem at the end.
I'm not saying it solves a problem. I'm saying at the end it's revealed that there's more to it than what we've seen, and that
I'm cool with that.
And it's kind of a teaser for the future because it's still mysterious. Like I said, like
there
I
are
picture.
rules, we just don't know them.
I don't picture Jasper turning into a whole, like, I don't picture him, like, eradicating the whole Huntsman army. I imagine, like, a couple of them get to where they are, and Jasper, like, suddenly turns into a, like, huge lizard golem kind of thing, and just smashes them, and then turns back into a cute little lizard. And they're like, what the hell just happened? You know, like...
I like the golem is a cool direction to go with that.
Yeah. Because, like I said, it's like, I imagine it being, it's sentient, but it's also, like, subservient. You know, like, it doesn't really have a personality of its own. It's just, like, it's a companion. It's
we could establish earlier that that Jasper will kind of take different different shapes to protect Stick, and at the end, you know, a larger conflict like a giant spider is what he has to protect him from. So he takes a bigger, massive golem style form.
Andrew, what's the name of that lizard thingy that has, like, the stuff on his neck that he, like, fans out, kind of like the thing in Jurassic Park?
A frilled lizard.
That wasn't too hard.
Okay, well, that. I imagine him doing that, and it deflects arrows or something.
Clematosaurus kingii.
It becomes like a shield almost for Stick to use, and then he wields like a quarterstaff or some kind of sling of some kind. I did picture him a weapon that Aramis taught him to use. I did kind of picture him having like a walking stick that he also uses for like all kinds of neat acrobatic stuff. Quarterstaff, that's what it's called. Well, yeah, but you know. Yeah. And he so like that could be a thing. And like I picture cool. Jasper like, you know, like wrapping up around the top of it, you know, like perching on it. So you imagine Stick with a stick?
Well, that's where he got his nickname.
Oh. Right.
So I imagine, like, authorities are always chasing him around, because, like I said, he's a free runner.
Come back here, Stick.
You with the stick!
Ref.
Ooh, we'll get you, Stick.
Gotcha. All right, no, that's really cool.
We won't all be burned by a dragon one day.
Noctilic is able to make it to the spring to save her child. Definitely. That's
wait,
pretty good.
I must have zoned out. Is the child born yet or not? I didn't think so. She's pregnant.
No.
We're saying late along and gets injured in the first Huntsman incident. Like, she gets injured in a way that might harm the child.
Okay, so
the only way to save the child is to get to the dragon.
All right, so they get there, they save the kid. Huntsmen are staved off for now, and some more secrets are revealed about Jasper, but still kind of like, what?
I imagine some type of elder among the Solier, right?
Yeah.
Yes, some elder guy knows a thing or two about this magic amulet.
See it and be like, whoa.
Convey some information.
Like, where'd you get that?
He's like, he could be even like, these aren't supposed to exist anymore.
Ooh.
Like, this type of power was supposed to, not even sealed, destroyed long, long ago. And like, with that kind of protection, you can, like, almost, I can imagine a type of like lawful good of the dragon mounted knights. They were they wouldn't be too happy with that kind of stuff in this world. Yeah, I know we're at the third act, but I think there's definitely got to be something with them saying like this boy, he can't, he's bonded to this amulet and he can't live anymore because that power that has to be gone.
That could be kind of our our ending, where it's like, he's all proud of himself, like, yeah, you know, like I saved everyone, you know, with Jasper, my new buddy. And then there could be that moment where the guy's like, yeah.
Like they're looking at him from like a balcony or something, like, the boy can't live. I know. Well then, it looks like we'll have to get our hands dirty. Call in the sequel hook. Then, like, somewhere something's eyes open.
I think it should be something much more direct than that. Like, I think it should be something like, as soon as it happens, they just grab him.
This kind of...
Yeah, they're like, no.
Jerk Dragon
like
Rider says... Oh, yeah.
Like, well, and that could be the thing is, like, you know...
I think I got it.
You know, capture the boy, and then Aramis can, like, grab him, and then they're on the run from Aramis's people.
Yeah, I was going to make it a little longer than that. They take him, they put him in prison, Aramis busts him out, because he went back for him. Like, that's been his arc. He originally didn't. He goes back for him, sneaks him out of there, and then they run away from Aramis's people.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Well, I mean that's essentially the same thought process. So like, yes,
We got the same thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
No,
like
that's
that's
really
like Aramis's like, let's blow this thing and go home.
cool. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
yeah.
That's his, except a little closer to the climax. Like, I imagined the last shot would be them both flying on this dragon out of here.
Mm.
And, and maybe the, another kind of a part in that denouement is that the Solier, they once, they have captured, like, it's a good thing that Talik is in their debt. Like, her silk magic is something that is a secret that they want to exploit in a way. Yeah? So something yeah.
Well,
All
it
sequel
leaves,
hooks,
it leaves
you know,
a lot of
that kind of
room
stuff.
for it leaves a lot of room for the sequel to explore more about Aramis's people and what's going on there.
Yeah, that's good high fantasy there, sequel hooks.
Oh,
that's
high fantasy.
That's what the
You're
genre's
not
all about.
doing it right if it's not like, oh, we need several movies to tell this story.
Exactly. All right.
Like more than 3 often.
Yep. So there we go. I think we made ourselves a high fantasy movie.
Yay!
Hey. Yeah, no.
This might
All right.
actually wind up being our longest episode yet.
Well,
It depends on how long it takes
yeah.
to name it.
Yep.
All right, 5-minute limit begins now. There's a lot of escaping and running in this film. And, oh yeah. Remember what I said earlier about how all fantasy movies kind of have a similar thing in their title?
Skyrunners.
No. Skyrunners is cool. Andrew, do you like Skyrunners?
No.
Okay, well,
They do
what's your
more
problem
than
with it?
they do more than run away from things. Sometimes
they
a
do,
movie
Andrew?
happens.
Based
Sometimes a movie happens to them.
Based on what we wrote, that's kind of all they do is run away. I'm not saying there's a problem with that. I'm just saying.
That could
That's
be
kind
what
that's kind of a weakness. Like, it's very passive.
yeah. That's kind of what Aramis labels himself as, a sky runner.
He's a flying
Kind of-
mouse.
He's a dragon smuggler.
I don't really see them as heroes. They're just people going through stuff.
Yeah, they're definitely heroic, or they become heroic throughout it. But yeah, it's running is usually that could be like Aramis's philosophy, and the thing that he ultimately gets swayed against running, going back and saving.
What
and
if
then
it's what if it's something like the stick in the amulet or something?
running? That's not bad. That fits the genre. Victor, nothing like that.
The stick doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Stick in the amulet.
Chlamydosaurus.
Actually, stick in the amulet would be.
The
That's
children of the
I mean-
amulet.
The shadow children of the shadow amulet.
the dark shadow children of the eclipse amulet. But actually, just stick in the amulets. Then you can have another movie, Stick in the Blank and Stick in the Blank.
If you wanna
you
wanna
wanna-
really focus
Harry
on stick,
Stick
as
and the amulet of.
all right, if you really want to focus on Stick as the the real like hero of the ongoing series, you could call it like something like the child from the mountains, or like
The Boy Who Lizard.
oh jeez.
Yeah, cliffs. They start off on the cliffs. Cliff Boy.
Cliff Boy. No. Dragon.
Yeah, dragon's
Wizards.
always a safe thing, especially because the movie has dragons in it. But do we want that in part of the title?
No,
Nah.
because that's right up there with amulets and shadows
Right.
in the fantasy cliche button.
Andrew, try and build off of
Fuck it.
Skyrunners, because that's...
Skyrunners. Skyrimmers.
I liked
No.
Skyrunners actually, but we can maybe work on that.
I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm just trying to get Andrew for or against it.
Somehow,
Sky Racers.
somehow, Skyrunners sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon more than a movie.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You know what? I'm being too harsh on Skyrunners. It's all right, but
All right, let's give it one more minute if we come with anything
One
else.
more minute.
and we'll do it.
should we go longer? Like
The whole
Skyrunners of something and something.
Or actually, you know what might make you feel better, Andrew? Because it's a fantasy movie, which means it needs a tag. So it could be like Skyrunners :
First amulet.
Into
No.
the mountains. Skyrunners.
Okay, The Fellowship of the Ring, a Game of Thrones. This is like establishing first act stuff.
Skyrunners.
The Eye of the World.
The
Magician.
the
itself.
ooh
The
something
first
about
one.
The Relic, because the pendant is a relic.
Good word. We can call it
Yeah.
we could say like Skyrunners :
Relic.
Re-
Just that.
The Lost Relic.
It has to be something like that. Yeah, like
Well-
the something relic.
Forgotten?
relic.
Isn't that kind of implied by the word relic?
Yeah, true. Lost is a little more accurate, and we're just about out of time. Forgotten. Yeah, no, we gotta get that. Old.
Relics.
Last.
Ooh, something like Relics Reborn or something like that. Skyrunners.
Refound?
Relics.
Reclaimed.
Relics Reclaimed.
Relic reclaimed.
That's close.
Recovered. Regained.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like, here's what happens in the movie.
Rescued. Oh, yeah, right.
I don't know if we need verbs.
Let's see.
I'm kind of into just Skyrunner's Relic.
That's not.
How
That's
about just
interesting.
Skyrunners: The Relic?
Okay, yeah, throw an article in there.
Yeah, Skyrunners: The Relic.
That's
Oh,
good.
actually, that's a really neat title. I like that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
Skyrunners: The Relic.
The Relic, yeah, Relic is a little too much of a high fantasy word, but Skyrunners isn't really enough, so it balances out, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, that's the name of a high fantasy book series.
Yeah. That's my taste, though. That's not objective. It was a good title, Victor. Good job.
Yeah, no, we,
All right, cool.
we got it, guys.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So if you like this episode, you can find more at our website, tinyurl.com/genrebot. If you have a better name than Skyrunners The Relic, you can send us an email at podcast.genrebot@gmail.com. Tweet us at genrebot podcast. Facebook us, facebook.com/genrebot. We're on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, Omni. If you leave us a review on iTunes, we'll read it on the show. Do you guys... I think we had like a few more if you want to read some. Or do you not have those up and we're running
we
out
have
of time?
like two more.
Let's save them because we're going long this episode.
Good
All right.
Okay. So, next time on GenreBot, Andrew, it's your genre. So, what do you got?
Yeah. Well, guys, I just want to say congratulations. We built a new world.
Yeah, we did.
Now all that's left is to destroy the old. No more
how?
will the earth be cleansed. No, I'm sorry. The earth will be cleansed of a plague of men. Because
The genre is good.
you're throwing out a lot of different vibes.
The bot is evil.
What is it?
post-apocalyptic.
Oh,
Hey!
it's a post-apocalyptic?
Yeah, the apocalypse happened,
Okay.
and now we got to live with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple rules.
I was
Shannara.
about to ask.
Yeah.
There's got to be rules for this.
Yeah, couple rules. I want to say it was a nuclear apocalypse, just because that's well, that's not fair.
Nuclear
All
holocaust.
right, that's not a rule. Yeah. And the only actual rules are no YA dystopia and no zombies,
Yeah, we
because
already
we did
did that.
both of those.
Oh.
And also required reading for this episode, Zardoz.
That's watching.
What's
You know what? You read into
what's Zardoz?
some key themes. What's Zardoz?
Hey,
Zardoz
you don't
is-
have to see it. You don't have to see it. Just nod your head.
Okay.
Well,
yes,
I don't see
Andrew.
you. Well, I don't see you
Yep.
nodding your head. So Zardoz is a science fiction
Sean
movie.
Connery does his thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm with you. That is
Gotcha.
that is a broad one. So there should be plenty of things.
And those are fair rules.
Plenty of things we can do with it.
This is
I just
awesome.
needed clarification because an apocalypse movie is much different.
That's
Yes.
the apocalypse happening. This is the apocalypse happened.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So tune in next time where we're gonna rev up our engines and use all the gasoline that's very valuable to us for some reason and race to adventure. Bye
See ya.
guys.
Adam, can you just give me a clean Valar Morgulis?
No.
Oh. Valar Doharis.